Hi, this series is a bit like the ABCD of climate change, and today I'm explaining A, R, and M. These three words, climate adaptation, climate resilience, and climate mitigation, are everywhere. They are crucial to climate discussions, but they can also be a bit of a jargon. So in this episode of the Climate Explainers, I, Anubha, Bhonsle, and Pallavi, Prasad are simplifying climate adaptation, resilience, and mitigation. So let's get started. Imagine you're on a boat. It has a big leak. You've got to act so that water stops gushing in, causing the boat to sink. Now, the first thing you might do is grab a bucket and start taking out water as it gushes into the hull or the main part of the boat. This response is adaptation. That is addressing the immediate effect that is water in the boat. Now, in the context of climate change, adaptation is the process of adjusting to actual or expected effects of climate change. It's doing what we can to live with and minimize the negative impacts of climate change that are already happening, as well as prepare for the future. Now, this can look like building seawalls and other flood defenses. It can look like moving people and economic activities away from areas that are prone to flooding, planting trees in cities to reduce extreme heat, setting up early warning systems for cyclones, switching to drought-resistant crops, strengthening our electric grids, our roads and bridges with better materials and design so that they can withstand extreme weather events like storms. It can also look like redesigning communication systems, business operations, and government policies.
Now, if adaptation is about bailing water from our sinking boat, think of resilience as reinforcing the parts of the boat that haven't yet been breached or weakened because of the water, so that if or when the water gushing in hits those parts, the impact is reduced and we can recover faster. In the context of climate change, this refers to innovations in planning so that communities can bounce back quickly from disruptions when they are hit. Resilience can look like mass flood insurance, allocating resources to disaster preparedness such as emergency response training, stockpiling essential supplies, and establishing temporary shelters. Building strong community networks that can provide assistance during and after climate-related events. Diversifying livelihoods to be less dependent on a single sector or activity that may be hit by climate change. Or protecting and restoring natural ecosystems like forests and wetlands that can provide natural buffers. So, in one line, climate resilience means better, more durable, climate-proof systems.
Of course, adaptation and resilience need to go hand in hand with mitigation to tackle the root cause of climate change, that is our global heat-trapping emissions, which is to say that if we want our boat to stop taking on more water sooner rather than later, we'll have to patch those leaks. Now, in the context of climate change, mitigation means reducing or slowing down the release of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. We can do this by shutting down coal and gas plants, using renewable energy sources like solar and wind power, being much more efficient with energy and using less oil, using public transportation, and planting more trees to remove carbon from the air. All things we have talked about in previous episodes of the Climate Explainers. But there's an important nuance here that I want to point out. Effects of mitigation take time to show. So even if we take very strong action to reduce emissions today, the greenhouse gases that are already in the atmosphere will continue to cause global warming and climate change for many years to come, which is why climate adaptation and resilience are as vital, particularly for the Global South. I'm going to urge you to see this episode that's flashing on your screens right now. If you haven't, it actually explains why the Global South is impacted disproportionately. I'm going to stop here for today. I hope the ABCD of climate change is becoming clearer as we are progressing in this series. Remember, you can give us a shout out, share this video, and let's all talk about it.